Welcome. Welcome all. So glad to have you here.
No, I think like.
It's okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everybody. Oh, sure. Janet, I can get you the phone number right now if you'd like. We'll get started in just a few minutes. It looks like I need someone who needs the phone number, so I'm going to pull that up really quick. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see so many people here. Let's do this. Okay. Feel free to turn your cameras on if you'd like. Just give people an extra few minutes to get in and settled and ready. Oh my gosh, Abby, your Girl Scout picture profile is absolutely cute. So fun. I'll have people coming in from the waiting room, so we'll give everybody just a few more minutes to join. Welcome everybody who's joined us so far. Okay. Looks like the waiting room is tapered off for now, but I'm sure we'll have a few more join us as we go. Welcome everybody. My name is Jessica Brendan. I am the program director for a group called the OAESD, that stands for the Oregon Association of Education Service Districts. And we get the privilege this year of managing the community side of the summer grant that was signed into existence by House Bill 5202 by our governor. It was signed April 4th, and which allowed us to move forward with the grant agreement with ODE and with all of the information that's coming out to you. So we're excited to provide this opportunity to Oregon's youth and really looking forward to what you do with the dollars should you be a grant recipient. I'll just briefly share that this is year 2 of the grant. Year 1 was managed by the Oregon Community Foundation, and they did a fabulous job with it, and they were asked.
Hi, Mati.
Oh, hi, Julia. Good to have
I'm
you.
so sorry. I had mute.
They declined to manage it this year, so OAESD was asked, and we're so glad to have the opportunity to do so. So we're here tonight to answer questions. I really didn't believe that there would be such a big group of us here. It's really a test run on our Q and A to see what the big questions are, what systems or structures might still need to be developed or supports created. One that came really clear this afternoon is that people want a PDF of the application so they can see the questions in advance. We didn't plan for that and know that that was a need, so we will quickly get that generated and get it onto our website before the end of the day on Friday. So if that's why you're here, it's coming. It's coming, it's on its way. A little bit about our organization. OAESD is really an association that brings together all of the ESDs in the state in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation, so we can learn from each other and that we can be more aligned in our initiatives and in our work. So that's the goal of OAESD. And I think that we were asked to do this work because ESDs are a really great way to provide supports and structures to schools across the state. ESDs provide support with special education, with business services, with school improvement services, and with technology. And those 4 areas have been what started ESDs in the very beginning. So those are the main service areas for ESDs. And we continue to evolve and learn and grow, and it's an amazing way to provide consistent support to Oregon students. Okay, that's enough of me talking. Goodness, 3 minutes. Whew, too long. So I'm here to answer your questions tonight. Janet, I did just admit interpreter. It looks like a PDF of the RFP is also needed, and I'm glad to offer that as well. I'll put it here. I've been emailing it to people all afternoon, but I understand that it's a need widely, so we will get that put together also. Okay, so let's have it with your questions. I'm ready, and some I will have the answers to, and some I will not yet.
I have a question about the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's pretty explicitly outlined what is required. And so I checked with our insurance carrier, which happens to be Brown and Brown.
Oh,
we have everything, but we do not have $2 million in the crime. Is it crime prevention?
Crime, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have $500,000 and we can up that, but she said that would require like our insurance premium would increase basically. And she was just wondering why that was so high, why the crime requirement was so high. And I wanted to check with you on that.
That's a great question that she should really direct to her colleague, Jeff, because Brown and Brown was who we consulted with on our insurance needs, because it's through Clackamas ESD. Clackamas ESD cannot take on the liability of the entire state. So each organization needs to provide their own protections. And the limits were agreed upon through the state of Oregon and the insurance carrier. And I don't have intricate, deep knowledge of insurance coverage.
Yeah, I don't either.
I can try to get an answer for you and get back to you on that.
No, that's all right. I can let her know that. And,
Okay.
you know, it makes perfect sense. So I just wanted to make sure that I understood that correctly. And, you know, just wanted to get some more information. So thank you.
You're welcome. Insurance is a change from last year. There wasn't that requirement last year, and it is this year because of the change in structure and who's managing the grant and all of that. So the limitations or the requirements are listed in the RFP. The grant money can be used to pay for the coverage. It can't be used as the seed money, because in order to receive the grant, you need to have the coverage. So it could be like maybe a reimbursement or something like that. There are a few questions in the chat. Will a CBO need to have an LEA involved in the grant proposal to apply? No, it doesn't need to be a demonstrated. LEA is local education authority, or I can't remember what that stands for, but no, you don't need to have a formalized partnership with an education entity in your region in order to apply. Wei, Lou, you asked for the link of the RFP, and I think that Kelly posted it down below, so that's really helpful. Jennifer, you also have insurance questions. You're concerned that the $2 million per occurrence on everything could be a burden on smaller organizations, and we definitely agree with this, and we advocated for a way to have smaller organizations, those who have the greatest leverage in working with students who are the focus of this grant, to apply uninsured, and there just isn't any way around it. These were the limits that were decided on. We kept trying to have those lowered and reduced, and that wasn't something that it's not something that we're able to manage and do at this time. We do feel like it's an equity issue, and we want to look to the future about how can this be more doable for the smallest of organizations, the ones who, like I said, have the most leverage and capability and skill in working with students who have high needs. Janet, you said, I have a question regarding no capital expenditures. Our 40-year-old grill just died. Will we be able to replace the grill? This is the second question I've got about capital expenditures, and did that say that in the RFP? I need to find it. I need to know where it's at. Anybody? Maybe I'll just search here. Capital projects, not capital expenditures. So capital projects are building projects, not necessarily stuff and things. Add into the chat.
Second things, did you say? Not second things? What was the word that you used?
Stuff and things. Like a grill would be a thing. Put it into the chat.
So capital expenditures are or are not allowed?
Capital, in education, we use capital expenditures as capital projects, because it says capital projects. Capital projects are big building projects. As I'm understanding it, capital expenditures is being defined as things like a grill or a, what was the example earlier? Something like a telescope or something space related.
3D printer or a software program to run GIS or IMAP or to create music.
Those are okay. Capital projects are building projects, and those are not allowed. And vehicle purchases are not allowed. Okay, Lena, you said, does administrative cost refer to indirect cost or overhead charge? Every grant has an amount that you're allowed to spend on administrative costs. So examples of administrative costs are insurance coverage, payment for management of the grant, to pay for people to manage the grant. Does that make sense? it does refer to indirect costs. Other questions? Go ahead, Maureen.
Yes, thank you. So the question I had was, you did say, you said a 3D printer is an acceptable purchase then as part of the project.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep, I'm going to put stuff and things is is out. Other questions? Melvin, you've unmuted. Did you have a question?
No, I wrote a question but didn't get a response.
Oh, where is it? Oh, here we go. Camps are apparently included this year in this grant. Are there special considerations toward, camps are apparently included this year in this grant. Are there any special considerations towards camps since this appears to be geared towards school-based projects? It doesn't have to be school-based projects. It's written by educators, which might make it sound like it's school focused. Can you give me an example of what a special consideration might be?
Well, last year this grant wasn't part of the same thing. It was just a school camps. It was a camp grant program, and so the requirements were geared towards more things which camps do versus the kinds of programs you're looking at. Some of our camps are not geared towards the historically underserved and the equity type issues that are coming up, especially out where we are in Yamhill. There's not a lot of considerations for those things, and so those were not really the same kind of considerations last year. So I'm just wondering how we're going to get around some of those, how I can get around some of those things since I don't have those opportunities or issues out here. I don't know if I'm being clear with this, but I'm just confused about how to make this work for me if it's workable this year.
Yeah, well, the first clarification that I'll provide is that camps were listed at one point as a separate entity in this grant, and that needed to be removed only because not all camps are nonprofit camps. So an organization needs to be a nonprofit organization in order to apply. There are also a few other considerations there's a list of who would qualify as this. So that said, the considerations for special populations could be in two different places. One could be in the design of the program. So it might be that if you run a camp that's an overnight camp, that you would have accommodations for students, let's say students who are experiencing disabilities. So you might have additional nursing support or available for medications that are special or that for medically fragile students. So that's one way that you might provide accommodations, but a different way you might provide accommodations, and I'm thinking of Yamhill specifically, might be that you want to make sure that transportation is provided to and from the camp for students who might be experiencing homelessness or in the foster care program. You may want to provide scholarship opportunities with this money for students who are experiencing poverty. Does that, I'm trying to think of other supports that you might provide with this. Those are the ones I can generate off the top of my head. Is that helpful, Melvin? Yes. Okay. Wei Lu asked, is there any reporting requirement? And I responded that yes, reporting requirements are in the RFP. They're listed out there. We haven't generated the form for actually reporting yet, but we will be. We'll be asking for reporting near the end of June, and then definitely before the end of the project. Other questions? I also want to welcome Rachel. Rachel helped in the design team. She is CIO over at High Desert ESD, and we've been really lucky to have her as a support in this. So welcome, Rachel, and glad you're here. Thank you.
Glad to be here. And hello, everyone. Jessica, I was going to chime in when you were answering the capital projects
Please.
question, just because I remember that segment of our conversation as we were moving through the documents, and it was specifically around this money can't be used to buy a building, but it could be used to lease additional classroom space or something like that, right? In terms of, so in addition to the stuff, it's that, you know, it can't be like a purchase that's going to live with your organization decades to follow, but it can certainly accommodate the burst, right, that we would all need this summer to be able to accommodate, hopefully, you know, 1,000 students and children. Yeah, so well done.
Thank you for saying that, and I'm appreciate that additional information being shared here. Jennifer asked, how do we judge how much to request? Is it based on the number of students served, or should we run a budget and come up with the amount ourselves? Yes, you should run a budget and come up with an amount yourself. The most succinct way to say it. Perfect answer, Jennifer. Thank you. Janet says, I just want to say how thrilled we are that this is being provided again so our kids can engage with the outdoors again with the support that is needed to make it safe, fun, and educational. Janet, yeah, Rachel said same here, and I feel the same too. I'm just so excited about the opportunities for kids that can come from this. Very exciting.
Yep.
Janet. Hi, Janet.
Right. Hello.
Other questions you have, that's what we're here for, is for all of your questions, and all of them are invited and welcomed. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, I'm just curious, from thinking about the reporting end of things, if we're hoping to reduce cost barriers for students by providing scholarships, is there a specific format we would need to use or information we would need to collect so that we can report back on that?
Yeah, it will be, sorry, it is in the RFP, all the information that will be reporting and needed. Some organizations have already started collecting applications, but I think what you're asking about is demographic information that might need to be collected.
Or is it, do we need to have anything that like ties a scholarship to a specific student where we're giving you lists of student names or anything?
No.
Okay, great.
No, we wouldn't ask for that. We are asking on the last bullet under reporting expectations, we ask for grade level, disability status, gender, race, ethnicity, and free and reduced lunch eligibility as a group. So X% of students, you know, fell into this category, that kind of thing.
Thanks.
Karen asked a question in the chat. What is the deadline to apply? There isn't a deadline. The application opened today, and it will stay open, and applications will be reviewed on a rolling basis until we're out of money. And our goal is to, within 2 weeks of submission, get back to an applicant. Now, we're a little slow on that. We're not totally there yet. So 2 applications came in today. We probably won't get to them in 2 weeks, but I'll let them know. Excellent questions. I'm so excited about this group's energy and excitement around the grant.
I had 2 questions around budgeting. I see the grant period is listed from April 4th through September 30th. So when we total up our program costs, should it be kind of encompassing of that, or obviously within that time frame?
Yes. Yeah. So some programs have already begun to incur costs.
Mhm.
Yeah, so anything that goes back to April 4th can be claimed up through September 30th. I would even within your organization back it up a little bit, because September 30th is the final day to do claims. You might want to back it up to mid-September just to give yourself some wiggle room.
And then I think there was some information in 2 different spots, and I wanted to clarify.
Okay, we want to get that cleared up. So tell me where it's at.
Okay, so I'm looking at the RFP. Page 2 under eligibility. And it says one-time grants ranging 15,000 to 400,000, average of 75. And then I think on the FAQs.
Oh, it may say 200
amount. Yeah.
I will get that cleaned up on the FAQ. The RFP is correct.
Okay. Awesome.
Everybody's feeling happy about that.
I know. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Help us be stronger. Please, I'm a one-woman show, so if I've missed anything in the chat, please flag that for me. I'm not intending to ignore anything in any of your questions. Karen, I see that you have a hand up.
I can lower it. Okay. Hi, thank you. This is exciting, I want to say. So thank you for your time. I have a potential to work with 2 separate partners and 2 separate things. Can we apply for those 2 projects, or should I put them into one as an organization? They're very different from each other.
So
it might be more of an individual question, but
filling out, well, but it's good to process this.
Would we submit it twice? Once would be my full wellness program with a healthcare provider, and one is my general camps that I run. So they're very different things.
For ease of reporting, you actually may only want to do one application. It will be a lot easier to report when you only have one application, because in the reporting, you'll actually report how many programs you have.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You have 2 programs.
Right.
So in the application, if there's one general way to describe both programs, or you could say, here are the 2 different programs that I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. For a non-answer, you're welcome. Julia, you said, will partial grants be awarded if our full amount isn't approved? That isn't our plan at this point, but I can't imagine there wouldn't be one situation where we would consider a partial. Maybe if we're at the end of our grant cycle and there's, funds are running low, maybe we would do a partial. So I can't say no completely, but we don't plan to do partials. Hands up. These are great questions that I'm glad for. Janet, in other words, all or nothing, probably, yes. Sorry to be vague. We're in the design process in our first year of doing this, so I don't like giving non-concrete answers. Questions or statements or anything that I've missed that I haven't answered? Welcome, Janet. Rachel asked, I should know this, but can't remember, is the total amount from the state legislature for this work similar to the amount available last year? Yes, $40 million is what was designated last year for this grant. It's 50 this year. With inflation, that ought to be about the same. Rising costs, right? Oy. Has anybody had some big shockers at the gas station?
Oh.
I am grateful to those who want to stay and continue to ask questions, but if you feel like you have the answers that you need, you don't have to stay on. And FOMO is real. FOMO's fear of missing out, for those of you who don't know. So I understand if everybody wants to stay on.
I will exit quietly, Jessica. Thanks for all the work and leadership you've done on this.
Of course.
And yes, I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you, Rachel.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I have an organization specific question.
Sure.
So I'm with Southern Oregon University. And I can't remember how we filled this out last year, where it asks for executive director or board chair. And because we're housed in a university, our structure is not typical for a nonprofit. And I'm wondering if you can advise me on whether I should list the university president or the board of trustees board chair for the university, or like somebody who's in charge of our subunit.
Whoever is in charge of financial decisions and budgeting.
For the university as a whole, or for the unit that oversees this work?
For whoever would be receiving the money. We don't want there to be a surprise where they're like, what's this $5,000 for?
Yeah.
So whoever would be receiving the $5,000 or the grant amount, that's who we should have the contact information for.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And it could be not organization specific. It might be that exists for others as well.
Jessica, this is Erin.
Hi, Erin.
Hi. On the Google Doc link, it says the download and print features have been disabled.
Uh-huh.
Is that fixable so we could download that as the PDF, or we just?
Yeah, we'll actually put the PDF onto our website for download rather than have it downloaded out of Google.
Great. Thanks.
And we'll as we update the website, as you know, you get a new email every time. So I apologize in advance for all the extra emails. Antonio, welcome. I'm sorry if you were in the waiting room forever.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah. Right now we have open space for questions on the Oregon Community Summer Grant. So you can put your question into the chat, or you can just ask it, and we all get to hear everybody's questions.
Okay, I'm driving, so I might just try to chime in a moment.
Okay. Okay. Let's see additional questions coming in. So there's the awkward staring at each other.
Oh, I have a question just on, is there a way to download the questions prior to, instead of entering them in directly into the Google Docs?
Yeah, we didn't plan for that. we didn't know it was a need until today when we released it. So we will remedy that and fix that. And my goal is to have that done by the end of the day on Friday. It will likely be done far before that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I
have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I also was trying to like print off some of the information and wouldn't allow you to print. Is that something that's already aware of?
Yes, we are aware of that, and we will place a PDF of the RFP on the website, most likely tomorrow.
Great.
Wei Lu asked another question about if we are awarded, will you send us a check or we send an invoice to be reimbursed? So while OAESD is the organizing body of this grant, the fiscal agent for us is Clackamas ESD. So what we will do once grant applications are processed, as they're processed, as they're approved or denied, then we will get the information, then we will let you know what the outcome was of your application. And then we'll ask for those who are awarded the grant, we'll ask for electronic transfer information. And if you don't have that, it's okay. Most organizations do because they have a bank account, but then Clackamas ESD will distribute the funds using either the electronic transfer information or by sending a check. So it will be, here's the money. 10% of the award will be withheld until reporting is complete. So that's important to know in advance also. %, will be held back. Until reporting is complete. Go ahead, Antonio.
It stated that the grants which you're able to apply for is up to 400,000, like between 40 and 400,000 or something like that, but that most grants will be awarded at 75 or the average of 75. How does that work?
The average is just the average of all the grants. It's not that we will decide as a partial amount. We likely won't decide a partial amount. It'll be, like Janet said earlier, all or nothing. But there may be a point where we need to do partial because the money is running out or because of other circumstances.
Did you come to the 75,000 average based on what last summer's awards through the OCF? Okay.
Yes, that is how we came to that average. Most of a huge percentage of the grants were actually in the very small range. So interesting data to parse and look at and review. I am probably obsessive about checking the OAESD email for questions because I don't want information that you're missing to hold you up from applying. So I'm really staying on top of checking that email. So I'm going to put it into the chat in case you have additional questions. I mean, you can ask them now and we'll stay on as long as needed, but you may want to not stay on and instead email if you have additional questions. So that email address is in the chat. It is oaesd@lblesd.k12.or.us. The website, anything you put into the website also as an inquiry goes directly to that email address. So if you can't remember the email address because there's too many vowels, totally understandable. You can also just use the website, the summer learning website that we will keep up to date. Our goal in reporting out anecdotes this summer will be to help the legislators who've made this happen for 2 years in a row understand that really it's a powerful experience for kids. And we want it to be sustainably funded. That is tricky because because of the politics. The two politicians who are largely behind this are now retiring. And so we will be asking for the stories and the pictures that go with summer learning. So any powerful images that you can collect and any powerful stories that you can collect along the way are not part of our reporting, but boy, would they be helpful to get us to a point of sustainable funding. I'll also be trying to hit a few summer programs here and there to collect those myself so that the weight isn't all on you. And gosh, you're the eyes and ears. So your stories that you collect are really important. And I saw a lot of emphatic nodding, so I know you understand. Again, friends, I'm here for as long as needed, but if you are satisfied with the information that you've got, you are welcome to step away. Andrew says, thank you for all the information. The youth and community of Ontario are very grateful for the opportunity. Yes. Sabrina. Welcome, Sabrina. Glad to have you here. We've just been doing information Q and A, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. A very common question so far is, how can we get a PDF of the RFP? Somebody shared a link in the chat and I'll reshare it here. So that's one way to do it. And then the other popular question is, how can we get the application questions ahead of time? OAESD did not know that was a need and didn't plan for it, but we will get that posted onto our website before the end of the week. Oh, that said, welcome. I'm glad you're here. There's the RFP link, should you need it again. But we're here to answer questions. So, and what we're interested in what questions you might have. Oh, you muted yourself.
Sorry, I got a board meeting here in about 25 minutes, and I realized that this one was starting tonight too. I'm going to try to come on Monday. Okay. I think my number one question is looking at this, because the ODE has done a couple of different grants. One was focused for educators and like summer school program, which I feel like this is this one. We got information. I'm a park service provider, so we do the enrichment activities, and there's also funds set aside. Is this more for the educator track, this meeting, or is this for everybody? Because looking at, I guess that's where I got confused when I got the email this afternoon. I haven't really dug in on the tabs. It seemed like you had to be required to be providing academic to be able. So no, that's not the case. Okay, well, cool. Then I'm at the right meeting, and maybe I'll get on Monday with some staff and make sure I totally have enough time to learn enough.
I know. So, and there's too many organizations that have too many vowels in Oregon, and we're one of them. Okay. So ODE, the ODE managed grant is the school side, and the academic side, I don't even know what their rules are. I know what our rules are. We are OAESD, and so we are an educational entity, but we aren't ODE. We are an association of all the ESDs in the state. So we seemed like to legislators who were looking for someone to manage this grant, we're a good match because we touch every piece of the state. In our organization. And this is the community side. So there are some limited schools that are eligible to apply for this grant. For example, the ODE side doesn't have enrichment. There's something that changed about the high school aged grant opportunity through ODE this year. And so we needed to have ours be open to schools, to high schools, to provide enrichment, because I think theirs is just academic. I need to get straight on that, but So there will be some schools that will apply and be approved to fill that gap. But mostly this is community organizations, and that's where we want to see the money go. Community organizations are the ones who you just have so many skills with kids. You know how to reach them. You spend unstructured, less structured time with them than schools do. You have such deep relationships with kids. Your staff is so capable and cool. Oh my gosh, it's the coolest people working for you ever. So
we're still looking. So if you meet cool people, I bet everybody that's trying to hire for summer camp would say send them their way.
Gosh.
If you know anybody, I know we're still hiring and we would love to have them come our way. But I bet the Girl Scouts I see around here, a few others, I bet there's a few others that wouldn't mind some good stuff. As long as you don't steal from me,
Yeah.
send them to each other. That'd be great.
Yeah. Excellent point. We're short on cool people.
We can send positive energy towards everybody for our summer hiring.
Good luck, good luck, good luck. I have some teenagers I'd love to boot out of the house for the summer. So if you are hiring, just let me know.
We'll take them. Yeah, we'll take them. Yeah. 16 and up, we'll take them. www.thprd.org.
Got it. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Now, is this the same funding that OCF was overseeing last year?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, OCF was asked to do that again this year, and they said no, thank you. So OCSG was approached, and we're just there's such a great privilege to be able to do that. So, and OCF is so helpful, and it's been a great experience. All right, we still have about 14 minutes together.
Out of curiosity, who are the two politicians behind this bill that are retiring?
Let me just finish my chat message. Senator Peter Courtney and Senator Dembro. I don't know Dembro's first name, but each of those have said they're not going to run for re-election.
So you had mentioned that it's going to be an all or nothing as far as what you submit for. So I guess that's in a way kind of scary because you're like, well, I don't want to ask for too much and then I get nothing, or ask for too little and I probably could have asked for more. What do you have any thoughts around that?
My thought is figure out what you need and ask for that.
Okay.
Make sure that it's money that you can actually use in the time period that you have to use it. Yeah.
That time period is what right now? I looked through it, but I got to look through it again.
Yeah, it's April 4th through September 30th of this year.
September 30th. Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, and I would, like I said, I would back it up just a little bit to September 15th, just to give yourself a little wiggle room for reporting. Also 10% of your grant award will be withheld until reporting is complete.
Can this grant be used for tuition for underserved, like a scholarship program? I just don't see that called out. Again, I'm skimming really fast.
Yeah, yep. It's in the application as an idea for how you might provide structure or support for students who are experiencing poverty or experiencing homelessness. Houselessness, I think is the right term. We don't have a required format for a budget. Wei Lu, thank you for asking. People ask what your request is, and then we will ask what your total budget is.
I have a question about Lena's a question about the indict costs. What does that mean?
I thought she meant indirect.
Oh, indirect. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
No, we will not require a budget for that. The question in the chat is, do you require a budget? And we will not be requiring a budget to be submitted.
Well, I'm likely will be back on Monday. I gotta pop over to our budget meeting here that we have tonight. Yay. But thank you for sending out the email and putting this together. Take some time to read it and come together with some more questions.
Sounds great. And if you want to just email them, that would be fine too. Or if you want to put them into our website, that's great too. We will get you answers. Thanks for joining us, Sabrina.
So thanks for doing it. Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I have to run to another meeting too. Really appreciate this.
Thanks, Lorene.
Bye-bye.
Flag Aaron is also gone. I don't see any more burning questions. Should we give ourselves 10 minutes back of our lives? Let's do it. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been really fun seeing your faces and getting to know you a little bit. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye-bye.
Karen, you're muted. Did you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, just one more quick question. I'm at a university, so indirect cost to them, to the university, means that if you say indirect cost to me X amount, our research office, because we have to report out, tends to like that. Is there some specification of like indirect to truly my indirect costs, which are different to the indirect to the universities?
I don't know what you mean. So
Yeah.
administrative cost is 4%. The allowed is 4%. That doesn't mean you have to spend 4% on indirect. That's what's available.
Okay, so that means, oh, it's, yeah, okay. It gets tricky with us, but it'll be a question further down the road for the.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm here to help.
Okay.
See you, Karen. Thanks. Bye.